Okay, I recently got an email from an online athlete and he goes, Coach, what program do I do to put on some mass, to get better at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and to maintain and improve my fitness to go backcountry hunting? These emails are very common. We're basically getting emails saying, what program do we do for goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3? And more often than not, all three of these goals, they kind of conflict with one another. In this case, right, putting on some mass, we would suggest a hypertrophy and strength program. For backcountry hunting, we would suggest an endurance program. And for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, with a mindset this is for a competition or for rolling hard, we would suggest a work capacity program. All three of these programs are very different in design, they have a very different purpose. And if we try to do all three at once, we're really not going to improve any of them that much, all right? Because if we're spending a day or two here, a day or two here, and a day or two here for like a 3 to 6 days per week training frequency, really not getting much out of it if we were doing 4 days a week specific to this, 3 days a week specific to this, or 4 to 5 days specific to putting on mass and strength. So we can't spread ourselves this thin and actually expect to see any kind of reasonable improvements. All right, so the first thing we have to do is that we have to prioritize our training. We have to figure out what's more important right now. And we're gonna move down that path first. And then for the remainder of the goals or remainder of the season, we have to periodize our training, which means we're gonna basically spread our training out, our purpose out throughout the year and kind of treat it more as like an annual or seasonal type event versus like, hey, I'm gonna try to do all three of these at once. So my suggestion for this athlete right here, younger guy, is that first off, he needs to focus on hunting because hunting season out west is basically, it's coming up. And for some states, it's already started. After hunting season's over, I would suggest he move over into a strength and hypertrophy program and actually spend probably at least 3 months working on getting stronger, getting bigger, going into a caloric surplus, all right, and limiting any of his extra activity, all right? That's gonna be probably the best recipe to actually put on some size, all right? Maybe come spring, let's just say next March or April, he's a young guy, he's probably gonna be going to the pool or the beach or whatever. I would suggest moving into a work capacity program, all right? Have him go into a caloric deficit, lean out his body composition, work on developing his anaerobic energy systems, and potentially get ready for a tournament. Okay, something to consider as well with the BJJ side is that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not purely a physical sport or endeavor. There's a lot of technical skills required to be successful. So you have to also ask yourself, well, is my physicality holding me back in BJJ, or is it my technique and lack of experience? So whenever you sit there and think about like what program should I do or how am I going to structure my training, you need to really narrow down your focus. You need to figure out, hey, what's important right now? And you need to focus on that, because if you can focus on that, now your training frequency specific to improving that attribute is going to be 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times a week. And you're going to get so much more adaptation by that higher training frequency than if you were trying to split these up into equal portions throughout the week. So think about your training, think about your purpose, think about your goal, structure your training based on what's more important, and then on the secondary goals, spread those out throughout the remainder of the training calendar.